Disclaimer, I finished reading this novel about 2 hours before writing the script, so it's a very honest opinion. Crazy Rich Asians, the 2018 movie, adapted from the source material of the same name written by Kevin Kwan, and it is completely and utterly crap. The story follows New York-based economy professor Rachel Chu as she accompanies her boyfriend to his homeland of Singapore. What follows is a trip through hell involving scheming aunties, fish guts, multiple proposals, none of which are in the book by the way, and a lot, and I mean a lot, of fancy clothing. The book was originally written in 2013 as a form of satirical comedy critiquing the upper class in Asia. Kevin Kwan, the author, also claims that the book is loosely based upon his own personal upbringing. The book quickly becomes an international bestseller and spawned 2 separate sequels called China Rich Girlfriend and Rich People Problems. This probably means that in the near future we are going to get 2 more poorly adapted sequels. The majority of the 2018 movie is set within the city-state of Singapore, using many of its iconic locations such as Marina Bay, the Botanic Gardens, and the famous Newton Food Court. With its iconic landscape and vast wealth, Singapore is an easily recognizable place and therefore a fitting location for a movie and a book titled Crazy Rich Asians. The movie, however, ignores other places in Asia mentioned in the book such as Hong Kong, Shenzhen, and Shanghai, ultimately choosing to ignore the intertwining storylines and instead focusing primarily on the Singapore-based storyline of Rachel and her boyfriend Nick as they attend his best friend's wedding. But I mean, the setting is stunning, so who can really fault the director's choice to ignore the other locations? I mean, just look at it. Singapore. Majestic. Crazy Rich Asians was a big summer movie with its initial release happening early August of 2018, and a big movie such as this would need to have a big cast. And oh boy, did it deliver. Among an entirely Asian ensemble, Henry Golding, having never acted before except for a 2009 Malay film called Pisau Cukur, but let's be honest, the less said about that the better, made a name for himself playing Nick Young opposite Rachel, portrayed by Constance Wu, most notably known for her starring role in the sitcom Fresh Off the Boat. With the cast being entirely Asian, there are several cameos from other big-named actors and comedians, such as Jimmy Yang and Ken Jeong. Creating the crazy rich aspect of the movie Crazy Rich Asians was never going to be an easy task, as undoubtedly it is way easier to draw out massive details on a piece of paper and find that the final product is not at all what was originally described in the books. So how were the creators of Crazy Rich Asians able to portray the wealth of Singapore so well on screen? With the majority of the film being shot in Singapore, save for a few scenes, wealthy-looking places were never going to be a problem, but as it turns out, trying to find an appropriate place for the family's palace-like estate proved no easy task. Original location for the estate at Tyrosale Park, although architecturally appropriate, has one small problem. Both mansions had been abandoned and ultimately overrun by the jungle, and, well, to put it politely, they were filled with monkey feces. However, despite this setback, the design gave inspiration for the interior of the actual set, blending ancient China and European designs. And I mean, just looking at the list of everything there in the sets, ranging from decorative inland mother-of-pearl furniture, William Morris-style wallpaper, and something only known as jealousy shutters, it's clear that the idea of wealth would just float off the silver screen and into the minds of the audience. Like, seriously, I ain't even heard of half this stuff. Like, what on earth are jealousy shutters? If the set design is anything to go by as a form of showing wealth, then the costumes would have to match the set. Ranging from posh dresses to immaculate suits, nearly every character is always dressed head to toe in the latest fashion trends and accessories, once again emphasizing the wealth of the characters and their families. Okay, so I briefly summarized the entire plot of the movie earlier, with the basic premise being that Rachel goes to Singapore with her boyfriend Nick to attend a wedding, and this is in fact the entire plot of the movie. And on the surface, it looks like it could just be another typical rom-com. Enter Eleanor Young, or as she is also referred to, Nick's mother. In essence, she is an old-fashioned rich lady who believes that the rich should only marry the rich, to keep the wealth contained in these small clusters around the globe. This basically means, from the outset, Rachel, being from a semi-poor family, stands absolutely no hope. However, as it's Hollywood, and it's a Hollywood movie, and a romantic one at that, the story inevitably ends with Rachel winning over the heart of Eleanor and Nick proposing to her on an aeroplane of all places. What matters is that this is a massive diversion from the book, where Nick doesn't ever propose to Rachel, even though he intended to, and with the inclusion of the marriage proposal, the movie had to change a few things. It completely removes a character in Charlie Wu, who I only found out very recently appears as a cameo midway through the credits, played by none other than Harry Shum Jr. And removing Charlie removed the entire plotline of a falsified affair and a fake illegitimate son. That is drama we all love to read, but apparently it wouldn't make good viewing, so they removed it. In conclusion, is Crazy Rich Asians a good movie? Yes, I believe it is. It follows the semi-predictable rom-com stereotypes while introducing many Western audiences to the world of the Crazy Rich Asians. Is it, however, a good adaptation? God, no. With many of the important intertwining storylines completely ignored, it takes away from the key plots of the book, and ultimately takes away from the world that Kevin Kwan was trying to build in the novel. And although the movie does do the book some justice, there's just far too much ignored to overly warrant it as a good adaptation.